everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful and a joy-filled morning. It is going to be a very exciting 45 minutes today. I've got Lord Metatron with me, and he says the statement today is, have we got your attention yet? That this particular message is for those who are in positions of authority and power worldwide. The premise of today's communication is understanding that emotion is energy in motion, and that you play a direct... Good morning, everybody. Okay. It says we're live. I'm going to trust that we're live. Wonderful. So today's event is on, have we got your attention yet? And it is really important we understand that the premise of this is that emotion is energy in motion, and that the way in which you as individuals, as a species, harness emotional energy produces real effects in time and space. Real events in matter occur in conjunction with the way you transform and utilize your emotional energy. Your species, for the last year, has been engaging in a great deal of fear, and you find yourselves still doing so, and only a handful of those on this planet are perpetuating this fear, whether by fear alone or by deliberate choice. Either way, you will not be able to escape the effect that your emotional energy, whether it is yours or that which you generate or stimulate in others, will produce very specific events in time, space, and matter as your experience. Now, when he came yesterday, after we got the report of this huge solar event that's happened for the first time in this new solar cycle, there's an event where the sun has ejected energy in a large way, and actually literally in 380 degrees, it's ejected this shell of energy outwards. And behind that is a coronal hole stream. So there's this particle energy that's going to be hitting the planetary system sometime this evening. And the next 24 to 48 hours is going to be really important to be highly energetic in terms of love, joy, peace, compassion, understanding, patience, perseverance. These are very important energies for us to harness. He said that as long as we choose to stay aligned to fear, there's going to be very precise and specific events that will happen in matter. You know, the experience of joy organizes matter very different than the experience of fear. And what we're seeing from the sun is a collective effect. The sun, what we're seeing coming from the sun now, is a collective effect of our ongoing state of fear as we experience it collectively as a species, humanity. So much of humanity has been put into fear and anger around this event that was labeled COVID-19 as a mechanism to attain control and power over others. But you cannot escape the reality that when you stimulate a certain emotional energy, it will create very different effects in time and space. You think you're simply gaining control and power over yourselves by stimulating and awakening this fear in others. But what in reality you are doing is you're causing an effect that you cannot undo once you start it. Can you correct it from getting too severe? Absolutely. He says absolutely. I'm going to let him speak on it a little bit more, but I want to please understand your emotion, all emotion is energy in motion. Science measures things that it can weigh and observe. And that's a very healthy way to do things sometimes. We've certainly got lots of scientific evidence to validate or invalidate that what is occurring is true or false. We've got information to validate that. But there's also this element of consciousness that is immeasurable from a scientific perspective. Emotional energy, although you can put equipment on the physical brain and measure emotional reactions electrically in the body, That is just the body's representation of an emotional framework. You and I and all of us, when we generate an emotional field, it is non-physical as well. It is a non-physically measurable phenomena that interacts with and alters time, space, and matter. And it's important to understand that. So the sun is reacting. What we're seeing now is a response from the sun in relationship to perpetuated fear on this planet. And the more this energy is perpetuated, the more the effect will become more pronounced. There, has been a lot of talk about December 21st and all of these things, these things that do not have to involve fear. Fear is just that what's generated by the potential effect of one outcome. But there's also the other side. If we go into a state of love and joy and grace collectively as a species, there's a whole other reality energetically that gets to unfold in time and space. Right? Yes. What we're seeing now is an effect from the sun of our collective fear over a period of about 9 months. For 9 months, about 9 months, humanity's been in this sustained state of artificial fear. Although the fear itself is real, the mechanisms behind generating it are artificial. They were lies, falsehoods. And people in positions of power and control have felt and thought and believed that they could secure a more effective paradigm for humanity by taking control over the masses. This will not work. You will just generate an emotional electrical field that's going to cause changes in time space that you will not be able to control. There is a tipping point. This simple effect that's happening this evening is just one small example of what happens when you create a sustained emotional energy called fear into the human collective unconsciousness field and radiate it out. It's just a small taste of what that can do over just a few months. So for those of you, again, he told me that this was targeted primarily for those that are in positions of power around the world to understand that you must begin to reduce the mechanisms and the agents of fear that you are currently using. There are much more effective and empowering ways to lead humanity to a more sustainable reality than the one you are currently using. The one you are currently using, that mechanism of fear and control, will not sustain this earth, nor will it sustain the continued expression of humanity in the incarnated expression it exists in at this time. It is so important you understand that the vibrational energy of fear generates very different results in energy, time, and space than does the vibration of love or joy or playfulness. You know this, you might know this intellectually, but now, because you have been in denial of the realities of what your part is with everybody, for you cannot exist separately on this planet in a collective consciousness. You are in a collective consciousness on this planet, all of you. And if you are going to lean things with your position of responsibility to a paradigm of fear, you will reap one result. If you're going to use your position of responsibility to glean vibrations and energies of love, you'll reap a different result. But you do not have to wait until you get to that place where you're saying, oh, I wish I had not done that. It is time you think about what you're doing. Understand that what you see with your eyes and hear with your ears is not the only thing that affects your reality. For the reality that you see with your eyes and hear with your ears is an effect of what you are as an energy, as a consciousness. And everybody on this planet, the majority of whom are very trusting in you, the majority of whom are very trusting in you and your authority. But when your authority is based in suffering, when your authority is based in fear, when your authority is based in selfishness, different effects occur in time and space that you cannot escape. So, have we got your attention yet? Have we got your attention yet? This is the beginning of what a sustained fear can alter in your solar system. And while your science can say, well, this is poppycock, how can little human emotions affect matter? Well, just look at your body. If you get excited, your body gets excited. You go into a state of fear, your body goes into a different state. You affect matter very deliberately, but you cannot measure that emotional quantity beyond what your instruments allow you to through physical matter. You can't measure the emotional field and how it impacts the sun, because you can't measure the energy called emotion between one physical body and another. You can only measure it as it appears to be in the form. Your technology has not evolved sufficiently enough to enable you to measure the quantum effects of the collective emotions of your species and the collective emotions of all the other species on this planet. For you, humans are affecting all form on this planet. And the vibration that you are dominantly using is called vibrational energy of fear. It's the label we give it. But it is an energy that reorganizes matter in a way that might not be so favorable if you wish to be in a physical medium of expression. Unless you are going to, of course, elevate your consciousness to a very different form of physical medium of expression, then this would be a different issue. But tonight, it is important you understand that those of you that are awake and aware and understand the power and influence of emotional energy, that you align yourself to light, to love, to joy, to happiness, to compassion, to patience, to caring. Align your energies, all of you, as many of you as you can reach. For your emotional energy will interact with different mediums and alter and change their effect. In other words, the energy that you now have coming towards you from the sun, which is its reaction energetically to your fear, can still be altered and changed somewhat. Much the same way as you can take a glass of water and turn it into ice, so too can your energy go forth to this energy from the sun and alter it. Again, you can ignore symptoms in your body only so long. Just as you can only ignore symptoms from the cosmos around you so long. You cannot separate yourself from the effects that are occurring in your experience. For you are directly influencing and affecting time, space, and matter, whether you are conscious of that or not. And our goal here is to inform you of the opportunity you have to learn this. This process of transcendence, this process of ascension, is not simply one of an alteration in your consciousness. It is also the recognition of your responsibility over consciousness, over matter, over time, creatively. For you have a creative influence in every moment of your existence. You cannot not be a participant in the creation. And all of you, whether you are in fear or joy, are creating. Your emotional energy is the non-physical substance that organizes matter into conditions of experience. And my coming to this one today was to simply remind you of that little truth, that your emotions are organizing the experiences of matter. So this is very fascinating, isn't it? That, that emotion is energy in motion. He's just saying it's not that hard if you can simply learn how to breathe. If you can simply learn how to breathe in your most stressful times, just the willingness to breathe, you can begin to assert your consciousness over your mind and body again. Just the simple act of breathing. Just a simple act of breathing. You begin to assert your awareness over the consciousness of your mind and body again. And understanding that emotion is energy in motion. It can't be created. It cannot be destroyed. It can only be changed from one state into another. Emotion can be changed from one state to another. So a state of anxiety can be actually changed into a state of vibrational love. Just as a vibration of love, you can be in a happy state one moment, something happens, something you're in a sad state. Emotion can't be created or destroyed. It's like, it is energy. My guardian angel John said about a year ago, William, emotion is the fifth state of energy. Now, science can measure solids, liquids, gases, and plasma. They can measure that now, but they have not developed sufficiently enough to be able to measure mechanically emotional energy. And we need to get to that place now. We need to get there fast to recognize our emotions are organizing our experience, and they have done so many times. Is why you see scattered throughout the deserts and around the world ancient civilizations that also did not understand this principle that emotion organizes matter. That's why the Roman Empire fell, the fear and the angst that was created in the populations around that empire. Well, anybody in a position of authority, if you understand what we're saying today, then you will understand that if you are not unable to create a vibrational condition of love in the collective unconsciousness of your kind, you will not experience love in the experience of matter. You are certainly free to depart from this physical realm, as all of you can, but we would think that you would have more excitement around that, around what the possibilities are, what you could create from a vibrational collective of love, as opposed to a vibrational collective of fear. And we know that the majority of you on this earth are in trust. You are here, you have entrusted yourself to leadership. You have surrendered to leadership. The majority of you have. But when this leadership, directs you to get fearful, they do not understand what the consequences will be, but they will. We will have your attention after tonight. If we do not, we will have it subsequently. Cool. Getting to that place, really getting to that place, of knowing that your emotions are creating the conditions in your life, and that you as a soul, as an awareness, all of us, not just the leaders, everyone, whether you're sleeping on the street or raising a family, every single one of us creates and can deliberately learn to harness the power of emotion to do so at will, right? So please take this day to go into a state of joy and love, and send that energy out around the planet and around the circumference of the planet. Send that energy of love and light out towards that field of energy that's rapidly moving towards Earth at hundreds of thousands of miles an hour right now. It's moving towards Earth, this energy. And send your love out to that. Once you understand that an emotional field will interact with matter, emotion organizes matter. Emotion organizes matter. Thought can fine-tune a quality of emotion, but emotion ultimately is what organizes matter into the expressions we see around us. So when you're seeing the beauty of nature, it's because the emotional energy behind it is beauty. When you're looking at a newborn baby and you're looking at that baby with awe and wonder, it's because the energy there is awe and wonder. And we need to understand that. So for those of you in the light worker community, please remember to like this video, subscribe to this channel, share this information out, especially this particular video. Getting to the place where you're generating intentional vibrations of love in your body, in the space around your body, in the space around the earth, towards the energies that are coming towards. We're moving towards this electrical process in the galaxy called the galactic current sheath. And it's literally an electrical charge being radiated from the galactic center. And we interact with all of that. We are an electrical potential. And I hope that in my lifetime, science designs the technology to validate what they've been telling me and what we're saying to you right now, that emotion organizes matter. There are instruments that will do this. They're coming. Question here. Question from Bogumila. My granddaughter Julia is sick, has E. coli bacteria. Did it infect her kidney? Will she be okay? Well, a different change of pace, Bogumila. Just give me a moment here. Yes. She's going to be okay. She needs to add salt to water. She needs to be drinking salted water, slightly salted. If you can get Celtic sea salt, CELTIC, and put about a teaspoon in a liter of water and have her drink that. Yes. The other thing you can do, they're saying apple cider vinegar, 2 tablespoons in 6 to 8 ounces of water. Have her drink that. Have her drink that in the morning and the evening. It'll kill some of the parasitic elements in her intestinal system that she's struggling with right now, just to kill the parasites. Okay, thank you for that question. Thank you for that super chat. Wow. So understand, when they're saying, have we got your attention yet? They literally mean it. When you start, if you're not going to listen to this and you're not going to follow what they're saying here, there will be a result tonight, one way or the other. But the light worker community is pretty powerful on this planet right now. Light is getting very powerful on this planet now, and even the fear that is here will be transmuted if enough are consciously engaged in the process. Yes, wants me to stress that people have to be consciously engaged in the process of actively, and I stress the word actively. You have to be engaged actively in generating a field of emotion of love, joy, compassion, playfulness. You have to be, it's not just going to happen automatically for you. You know, there's a process your body will go through. If you're in a severe state of depression or anxiety, it will pass after a period of time and you get moments of relief. That's because the body can't stay in an overexcited state of toxic chemicals, so it has to go trying to reestablish homeostasis. And that's an automatic process. But you can literally end anxiety in a few minutes if you understand how to breathe and how to focus your intentions differently. You can alter the energy of anxiety. You can alter the energy of depression. You can alter the energy of loneliness. You can alter any emotional energy consciously. There's just simple things you need to learn to do that. Learning how to breathe, learning how to meditate, learning how to let go of your old emotional energies. And again, we teach all this in our courses and classes, which are starting in February. But today is very important to align yourself to a vibrational energy of love, to begin to project that feeling into the space around you and in the space around the earth and towards the sun, to literally allow that vibrational energy to go out. And the more individual humans are collectively doing this, the more pronounced the effect is. Look, it took 7 months of fear being stimulated when the pandemic was first called. It took 7 months of this sustained fear of getting sick and being diseased. And now we're seeing these reactions from the sun. These are not coincidental reactions or coincidental events. There are no coincidences in the quantum field. We are creator beings by nature. So please understand this, that there's nothing random. We're seeing an effect of human collective unconscious fear influencing time, space, and matter in the form of this solar event that we're observing. And notice that it didn't just come from one part. It went 360 degrees out from the sun, which is kind of like what humanity is 360 degrees on the planet. And our fear has been going out like that. It mirrors, right? The earth is a microcosm of the macrocosm called the sun, as the sun is a microcosm of the macrocosm called the galaxy. It's an amazing thing. Amazing thing. Let's get to some questions and answers here. Good morning. Good morning. Yes. So just so you know, I've got Lord Metatron with me today, and have we got your attention yet is the subject. It is really important to understand this concept that we're speaking of, that the vibration of love produces very different experiences in the condition of matter in your body. When you're in a state of joy, think about it. When you're in a state of joy, does your body not feel better, different, excited? That's an emotional energy that I just chose to bring into this body, right? And it alters it. You know, the body smiles, everything changes instantly the minute you access a different emotional energy. And we can do this at will. Every single human being on this planet can learn to generate a feeling of joy, generating a feeling of life, peacefulness, compassion. Each of us has it within us to do this deliberately and intentionally. And it's important that we be teaching our children as young as we possibly can that they can choose an emotion of joy. They can choose an emotion of excitement. You know, they naturally are born. We are naturally born in joy and love. We're naturally born and hardwired that way. It's just certain conditions of the environment give us an illusion that we have no control. The environment doesn't control you. You control your environment, and you do it emotionally. We all are. We're all doing it emotionally on a level of energy, not a level of matter. Matter is the end result of emotional energy. Matter is the end result of emotional energy. Just as the events and circumstances. So you can change what you're feeling anytime, people. Yes, very good. Just scrolling up here, see if we get some questions. Wonderful. Good morning, everybody. yeah, we had people from 13 different countries on here the other day. I want to say thank you to everybody from all over the world: Sweden, Germany, France, UK, Australia, United States, Canada, Africa. We are a global community. Humanity is a global community. How to establish a global community from a paradigm of love versus a paradigm of fear. You cannot establish love through fear on this planet. You cannot establish harmony through fear on this planet. You cannot. Love is a vibration that does very different things in matter than fear does. And if you think you're going to establish a better reality by utilizing fear as a mechanism to do so, you're going to be in for seriously rude awakening. And that's for those in positions of authority around this planet. If you think that by supporting and sustaining a vibration of fear is going to give you a vibration of joy and love on this planet, a vibration of harmony and unity, you're sadly mistaken. Remember that. You're in a position of authority. The masses, everybody came into this world in trust. And when you misuse that trust, even if they agree with you unconsciously or unknowingly, you're still going to reap the effects of fear. You won't reap the effects that you desire. And your desire to control and manipulate others for your own personal gratification is not going to end too well for you, right? You look at your families and your children where you are, the emotion of fear will create a very different world than you think you're creating for them. Anyway, they wanted me to give you that warning. Very nice. Wonderful. Manoj is asking, previous day, Jesus said that those of us who will not be willing to ascend will be asked to leave Earth. Will the cabal, reptilians, etc. be asked to leave? When can that happen? Remember, if emotion organizes matter, Master Jesus is saying it is for those to reap that which they have sown, that they shall reap what they have sown. Whether they are conscious or unconscious of what it is they do, the effect will always be what the effect will be. If you are living in fear, you will necessarily experience certain results. If you are living in love, you will necessarily experience certain results. That one or the other will be told to or asked to leave is not our position, for this is a free will zone, that we will not use our influence to manipulate anybody into being that what they would not choose to be. If one chooses to be evil and angry and upset, they are free to choose that. We have never stopped it before. We will not stop it now. But we will bring forth the option for all to recognize that there is always another choice. Whether you are from this planet or not, there is always a choice as to what quality of energy you're going to utilize as the mechanism for creating your physical experience in this realm. And yes, there are many other realms that some will migrate to. If you are unable to tip the scales, as it were, there will be a new earth emerging. A new earth will emerge. A new physical earth will emerge. That will be the renewal of what was before. Yes. But none will be forced to leave. Wow. Thank you, Manoj. Question from Betsy. Master Jesus spoke of the lives of children that have been lost because of our mindlessness. I lost a child in my 20s this way. Can you confirm this soul feels my love? No regret, only love. There are many of you that do not understand and have been misled by those in authority. Do not fault yourself, for the errors of authority are not yours. You came into this realm with the trust that your authority would lead you in light and love, not aware that this is a free will zone. But there is only love for you from this one. There is only love for you from this one, as they feel your love also. They are in this world. They are in this physical world in another form in the European continent. They're in the European continent in physical form right now. That's really cool. Thank you, Betsy. Yes, there's a process. You cannot be you cannot escape the effects. We cannot escape the effects whether we're conscious or unconscious, whether we're led properly or misled improperly. we cannot escape the effects of our own causes, but we can alter the effects downstream. We can change so that we don't have to carry the burden of our error either, right? But there's only love for you there. Question from JC. Can you ask Master Jesus for any message for me? This is fun. Yes, okay. Sorry, Metatron wants me to just say it is important before we go into conversations that take you outside of the venue and the value of what it is I am here to contribute to you today, to understand that you have at your disposal this opportunity to learn, to demonstrate, to rise above your fear, to transform the conditions of your existing reality from fear back into love, if you so desire. But you are seeing effects in time-space that will unfold. These things that you call suicides, the suffering, the loss of businesses, these are all effects, the children of fear. Any suffering is the effects of the child of fear. You must understand your alignment to love is crucial if you wish to change the current experience. So please understand that this is the primary message, that you must be conscious of what emotion you are going to use in your creating process, for none of you can escape that you are creating in this realm. You may be unconscious of this fact, but in hearing these words, how could you possibly be unconscious now that your emotions are creating your material experiences? If you understand this, then we will go on to other things. Yeah, please, whatever time you can dedicate to being in a vibration of love, even now, and radiate that love to your body, to the space around your body, to the world around you, to the space around the world, to the sun. Radiate that vibration of love out. It is a different frequency than the vibration of fear. But isn't that amazing to think that we're seeing a reaction from the sun, from a sustained expression of the vibration of fear on this planet from humans? And also the effects that humans have had on other life forms and the fear we're stimulating daily. The way people eat cows and pigs and other animals, you're stimulating a state of terror and fear in these animals. That adds to the collective frequency of fear as well. People don't realize that we are a universe of energy, and energy is emotion in motion, and that it's our energy that's organizing our experiences of matter. Please understand that. So we can go on to this. We'll go to this. Question from Lauren. For those who are not yet awakened, like children who are forced into having the vaccine, will they be able to transcend the effects of the vaccine? And will those who are awakened? This is a very good question. The effects of fear on matter are very different than the effects of love on matter. The effects of fear on matter are very different than the effects of love on matter. If you engage in something from the vibrational energy of fear, you can expect a very different result than the energy of faith or love or joy. For those of you that will elect to engage in that process of inoculating yourself from something you do not need inoculations from, the only thing you need to inoculate yourself from is in your own mind, and you must inoculate yourself from fear. You must relieve fear from your mind, but more importantly, those who you follow must remove fear from their minds, for they are the ones who are leading this way. It is the fear that humanity as a whole must inoculate itself from. And that inoculation does not come in the form of a needle or a pill or a drug. That inoculation comes in the form of a deliberate vibrational intention to align to thoughts, behaviors, and actions that are based in love, truth, compassion, patience, kindness, not fear. Wow. Hope that answers your question, Lauren. Thank you so much. A question from Patricia. My grandmother, Cecilia Graham, passed on December 8th, 41 years ago. she was born and passed on at least on a feast day of Mother Mary. Does she have a message for me today? Thank you. Wow. I just get this warm feeling of joy. Just a big joyful smile. Excited that you're doing your thing, I'm doing mine. Excited for you. The hope you have of what I would say is very different than what you might expect. For I am not who I was then, I am who I am now. The love is different. It is deeper and stronger, and you may know it, and you may know it not. You will know it if you are with me now. You may not know it if you still view me through the lens of your memories. For you can feel the love that I have for you as I am now. But if you try to view me through the lens of your memories, you will not see it or feel it as it is. Thank you. Thank you. A lot of people don't realize when you leave your body, you are not the localized identity. When we leave our bodies, the localized identity, in other words, this William mechanism that I exist in and these beings work through with me, the William mechanism is the reference point I use. So somebody says William, I as an awareness respond to the information in the system that's known as William. When this mechanism ceases to function, then the reference point of William no longer exists. So it becomes very important for me as an awareness to know that William is not who I am, that this body is not who I am. I am awareness, consciousness, energy that exists independent of the body, but can also function independently through it. But when the form ceases to exist, I will not be this William anymore. I will be what I am. Although I will have memory of William, but I will not be that which I was. And so when people leave the form, they change. There's a fundamental change depending on the level of awareness they've cultivated. If they've cultivated an awareness of self that realizes that, oh, I'm not this personality. Who am I? And they begin to explore that. The changes that happen for them are significantly different than when you don't awaken, that the body ceases to function, but you have no sense of identity now. You've lost your reference point. A lot of people call it the blackness. And in some schools of thought, they call it purgatory, where there's nothingness, where you don't even know you exist. You're just blankness. You're not even aware you're aware. The body allows you to become aware that you are awareness. And through this mechanism of matter, you have the chance to develop your awareness to a point where you're not localized to matter. So when the body ceases to function, you don't cease to be aware. You don't need that reference point anymore. Most people are still stuck in the body as being the sole and exclusive reference point of who they are. It's not. It's just a mechanism that you use. Well, thank you. Let's see. Question from Blaine for Telosian leader Ra. If emotions are creating higher frequency conditions within inner Earth, why does that energy not send out around the surface of the planet? Wow. You must understand that the emotional energies from the human perspective are deliberate. You must understand the numbers of people that are conscious of their ability to utilize emotions is very small, that it is not necessary to determine that the vibration of love exists within the earth, for your vibrational intentions as a species affects and influences even the earth's frequency, much the same way as somebody sitting beside you. If they're in a state of joy and excitement, you feel their joy and excitement, and it warms your heart. But if somebody is sitting beside you and they're upset and they're frustrated, you can feel their frustration. But likewise, if you're conscious, you can transform that frustration. You can do that. But Earth is responding and reacting to the dominant emotional vibrations that humans are collectively stimulating. And that vibration from Earth has been transmitted out. And you now see these celestial bodies called the sun reacting to this vibration. An energy that the Earth herself can absorb and transform and transmute and release her suffering from. But humans will have a different reaction physiologically to these energies coming from the sun, for they are the backwash of their own fear. Yes. Thank you, Blaine. Any thoughts on the flat earth theory? Every time I would ask them about that, they just start laughing. It is whatever you shall believe it to be. You will prove anything to be real, although it will never be what you think it is, because everything is in a state of change and flux. Me personally, William, I believe that the concentric sphere is the fundamental cornerstone of all dynamic matter, that the earth is a sphere. It's a divine sphere. That's my personal thought on it. Wonderful. Thank you. I see that. Question from Jana. Are there specific words to invoke states of joy, love, or adventure? Yeah, if you do not know how to generate and literally move into a state of joy or a state of curiosity or excitement, if you don't know how to deliberately do that, there are some words that can do that. Absolutely. You can pull out a dictionary and go through and read words in the dictionary and see the different energy different words will give you. Or you can take words like love, like joy, peace, happiness, compassion, excitement, playfulness, and find out what words stimulate that. For some of you, you might be able to use different sounds of the musical scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Certain incantation chants like om or ra or ah. Different sounds, different words will generate or stimulate different vibrational energies in your body. And you can play with this. Anybody can play with this. That particular process is better for auditory individuals. But for people that are visual individuals, you might want to look for pictures that represent adventure, excitement, and joy to stimulate that energy in your consciousness again, right? For people that are kinesthetic, you might want to find something that makes like cold water or hot water, something that feels exciting to you, silk or satin. You want to find the modality that's going to stimulate your awareness of the vibrational energies of love, joy, excitement, adventure. You want to find it in the modality that most is compatible with you and your body type and your mindset, until you become aware that you're not your body and you're not your mind, and then you can consciously choose, I'm going to be in a state of joy right now. You know, I'm going to choose to be in a state of contemplation right now. I'm going to choose to really give that attention and focus on that. Then you're generating the emotional energy deliberately and intentionally through matter. And that's a skill that everyone must develop. People that are in states of chronic anxiety and depression do not know how to do that. They do not know how to shift the emotional field because the emotion has become so part of their chemistry that they're literally addicted to the suffering, but they can learn to adjust that energy. Anybody can learn to adjust any energy, no matter how deep the depression or fear is. If you've got something that you can put your attention on that will begin to shift that energy, even your breath. Metatron was saying earlier today, use your breath. If you feel yourself deep depression, or anxiety, start to breathe slowly and deeply. It will stimulate a different chemistry in your body, which create a different emotional state, right? And your body, when you breathe it deliberately, is an act of your soul. Only your soul can deliberately. Your body does not have the capability to act outside of its programming. Only you can direct the body to function outside of its programming. Thank you for that question. Question from Janine. Are we enough in number of the light worker community to change this energy to reverse what happened to the sun? Any information from Metatron? You cannot reverse what the sun has already done, but we can alter the effect. So think of this water as the ejecta from the sun right now that's coming towards the earth, like that. It's got a certain constitution, this water. If it was just water coming through the air, it would be one thing. But what you put towards it can alter it or affect it. So a vibration of love. Let's say that love is a vibration of ice, of cold. Say love. No, let's use heat. Love is a vibration of heat. And if the heat is intense enough, and I put this water to the heat, the water will begin to boil and eventually it'll just dissipate and evaporate. It's changed by the vibration of heat. We're putting love out from this planet, because really, most people have been so caught up in putting out fear unconsciously. They're putting out their fear unconsciously that they're seeing the effect. Now, why is this happening? And if you're unconscious, people are going to ask that question. Why is that happening? People ask that question whenever they're unconscious. They don't know because they've forgotten the causes of their own effects, or the effects of their own causes. But you're deliberately putting out a vibration of love to that energy around. You just have to put it out around the planet. You don't have to direct it specifically at the sun, but just put it out. Because anything that comes into the sphere of the relative motion of that emotional energy called love will be affected by it. So if I put the water in the freezer, the water doesn't have to do anything. The temperature of the freezer alters the substance of the water. So too, the energy being ejected from the sun is an energy that when you meets another energy that's different in potential, it will alter and change it. And again, the scope and scale of the energy is not about size. It's about the amplitude and the frequency of the energy. So yeah, if you move into a state of love and joy and you're in there, feel it in your body, feel it in the space around your body, feel it in the vibrational energy of the earth, feel it radiating out from the earth, feel that energy going out. Yes, the numbers are sufficient on the planet. There are enough light workers on the planet to shift this energy. There are enough light workers on the planet to shift this energy. And once that happens, then the light worker community can rise up in a very different way with this existing paradigm. Because what's happening is a lot of people feel powerless because of the physical mechanisms of control and power that the existing leadership is using are physical mechanisms that are based in an emotional quality of fear. But again, once there's an emotional potential higher in potential than the other, it changes it. So yeah, there are enough light workers to alter the effect. And remember, it's just energy, just like this water's energy. I drink it. That energy of water goes in the body and it gets converted into blood and other things. The energy gets converted. So when the energy from the sun comes into a field of love, that energy gets converted, just as the vibration of love gets converted by that to a degree. So the stronger the emotional energy, the more pronounced the effect will be. So yes. Question from Inshiru. Oh, thank you for that. 1111. I love that. Super chat. Your Patreon session yesterday sent me the message to give it up to God. Any more personal specific instruction on how to do that more fully and completely? Thank you. Yes. Your ability to set things in motion. Emotion is energy in motion. Your ability to set things in motion. Let love guide your life. You align yourself to a vibration of love, and you rest your awareness in that vibration of love. You're now transmitting that vibration of love into time and space, into the molecules of your body, into the organizing the conditions of your world. The more you are deliberately aligning yourself to the frequencies that you wish to see translated into the expressions of matter, such as love, fear, joy, playfulness, excitement, possibility, whatever it is you would choose, you will organize the conditions of your experience, and the energy does it for you. God is the spirit in motion. God and energy are synonymous. God and energy are synonymous. God and energy are synonymous. So when you extend love, then the spirit, or God as you wish to call it that, moves in that spirit. Just it will move in the spirit of fear, as you see on this planet for the last multiple months. So for you, align yourself to the vibration you wish your life to be representative of, a feeling of prosperity, of excitement. Can you remain in that long enough so that the spirit carries it out for you? You have great ease at saying to your hand, close and open, and it does so quite easily because you're conditioned to know that. But the same is true on the existing relationship you have with the environment beyond the immediacy of your physical body. So yes, set the spirit in motion. Thank you for that question, Inshiru. I really appreciate it. Question from Kelly from Metatron. I'm still curious, is he seraphim? Also, he is always he is always working closely with ET guides, so I'm always confused on what he is exactly. Also, does he have a different name? Wow, it's interesting you would ask that question. He says the different name that you would know, you cannot know in your mind, for it is not a word as a word is known to you, but it is a vibration. A vibration you would call bliss. And the word of that is not a word you could know in your mind, but you will know it as an experience when you come into alignment or direct contact with me without the interpretive mechanisms of your mind trying to figure out what it is I am in relation to you. The beings that I work with are manifold, not simply the terrestrials, not simply the seraphim. Once you understand the perspective of awareness, once you understand that the perspective of awareness is different than the perspective of matter, and that the relationships that are determined by awareness are very different than the relationships that are determined by matter, you will have a better grasp of why it is that I can work with these many different realms, as many of those ascended do, and as many of you do when you are not attached to your body, usually when your body is at this place you call rest. You are not simply that physical mechanism. You are not defined exclusively by us as that physical mechanism. That physical mechanism is merely one facet of an infinite spectrum of your being, of your awareness. So if you wish to understand this more deeply, understand it from the perspective of awareness, and you will get a much more profound understanding of how limitless it is to perceive one or the other from that perspective of awareness, not from the finite conception of your humanity, which restricts to a great deal what you would know to be true, were you not identify with that form individually. Cool, that's neat. So in other words, if you're stuck in what you think you are, if we're trying to figure out who they are and what they're doing from our perspective of who I think I am as William or John or Mary or Indira, if we're trying to figure out this infinite thing from a finite, it won't work. But as an awareness, the concept of multidimensional realities, the concept of being able to be in multiple places at the same time becomes very practical then. It then becomes understandable from the perspective of awareness, but not from the perspective of finite identity. Cool. Great question. I'm going to take one more question and we're going to call it a day. Question from Luz de Luna. Can I get a message for my brother? Wow. I don't know who this is. They're coming in from right to left. From right to left. Rest more in your heart. Rest more in your heart. I don't know why, but this being is showing me something about the left side, that he needs to rest in love in this part of his body. I'm going to try and show you this part of his body here. He needs to rest the vibration of love in that part of his body. He needs to rest the vibration of love in that area of his body. They're saying that he can do this, but he must remain so. He must remain there until it is done. I don't know what that means or what that's in relation to, but he must remain there until it is done. The vibration of love. He must be conscious and remain here until it is done. Again, I don't know what that means or what that represents, but they're showing me the left side. They're showing me the left side. That's where you need to put it. Isn't that whole left side here, from the left breast down to the lower part of the rib cage, to rest let love rest in that whole area, consciously and deliberately. So if your brother understands the vibration of love, have him do that. Wow, thank you so much for that question, Luna. Okay. listen, guys, I want to thank you guys for your support, your questions, your inquiries, your answers. I'm so grateful. We are in such an amazing time in human collective unconscious where we get to really alter and change matter, time, and space in a profound, powerful, and positive way, or not. We can change it in a painful, fearful, detrimental way. But in the big scheme of things, this is just a finite experience. It's not who you are. It's just a mechanism that you're experiencing one reality through. I want to thank, again, all my patrons for your support. If you want to support these messages, you can become a member of my Patreon page, patreon.com/William Michael Forbes. We host a monthly live patron-only event. We also do a monthly draw for a free reading with me. Also, we do spontaneous events as well, where we, like not this Sunday coming, but the following Sunday, we're going to be doing a special healing event with the Masters. Again, they love doing that. Looks like it's going to become a regular event, and that'll be for patrons only. Also, if you want to know more about how to learn to connect to your guides, your angels, your God, your divine beings, you can check out our courses and classes on mediumship on my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and you can check out our courses and classes there. And they start February the 13th, so you might consider registering for that now and learning how to get out of your mind and get connected to these multidimensional awarenesses that are available to all of us. It's true. We are all mediums. We are all conduits for infinite potential, and you can learn that. And there's a pretty amazing course. And again, thank you. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so you know when we come live. We go live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and Saturdays. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, it's Shortcuts for Your Soul, where we bring through specific energies and qualities of consciousness that we integrate into the body-mind's mechanism on Saturday with Supernatural Saturday, where we hold a meditation, which is an integration of what happened on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So please remember to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and share the message out, guys, especially this one. We have a really great opportunity to demonstrate that we are way beyond what we give ourselves credit for as a species and as light workers, especially light worker community. But most of the people that are living in fear do not understand the difference of effects of fear on matter versus love. But they're going to, you're going to. So to the leaders of this world, drop your mechanisms of fear, for you will create very different results in time space than the one you think you are going to. And those who are in the awake and aware community, that of vibrations of light and love, stay centered in love and joy in your body, in the space around your body. Radiate your love out. Radiate your love out beyond the confines of this physical structure called Earth. And continue to do that as much as you can over the next 24 to 48 hours, and watch what starts to happen on the planet. They told me last week, in fact, they did on Shortcuts to Soul, that there would be a lot of big changes coming in the next couple of weeks. And we're already seeing that happening now. Remember, we're seeing the effects of human fear collectively and the sun reacting to it. And one day science will start to understand what we're saying here. Much love to you all. Have a joyful day, and I will see you on Friday. Bye, everybody.